Thank you for joining me during the witching hour. I'm going to be giving my channel a new name. Channel once known as the Witching Hour is going to be known as Witchiana. Me, your host, Witchiana, aka Witchy Poo. Be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, I'm going to be introducing a new segment to my channel called Spooky Segment Speculations, where we divulge into paranormal speculations. I'll go first. How many of us are Reddit lovers and Reddit readers? Including myself. How many of us vividly remember reading a Reddit thread that no longer exists? Say, for example, you recall reading this thread and it ceased. Seems like it was scrubbed off the internet. Well, let me tell you about a time where not only did I read a Reddit thread that was scrubbed off the internet the next day, not to be found, I also had a visitor that paid me a visit and gave me quite a scare upon some of the things I had to say regarding this alleged Reddit thread that's been long scrubbed off the internet. A few years ago, scrolling online, I happened upon a true crime thread where an alleged FBI agent was asking Redditors to not only submit some questions regarding a very, very well-known true crime case, but this alleged FBI agent who created this thread also divulged some information regarding this case. Some of this alleged information, including that the death that we all thought went one way actually went another. And it's quite simpler than what we think it is. You see, this alleged federal agent was divulging information to us Reddit users that wasn't supposed to be divulged, going into such details as stating that one parent accidentally hit and unalived their child in a fit of rage, not knowing that the child was still alive. This parent, thinking that the child is deceased, went ahead and staged a very elaborate hoax, you would say. You see, the alleged FBI informant, excuse my background noise, the alleged FBI informant states that this parent was in fact going to hide the deceased child's body outside of the home, but at the last minute got spooked and was afraid that the other parent was going to come downstairs and happen upon the scene. So this parent staged this whole entire elaborate ruse to cover up the unaliving of their child. This alleged FBI informant also goes on to state that the said parent was SAing both children. Continue reading the thread. I state, well, yes, of course, I always knew this said parent was in fact responsible for their child's demise. I loudly rejoiced and said, I knew it. I also give credit to knowing this, since the FBI agent said that the handwritten note And the parents' handwriting, it was a match. And it couldn't be unmatched. No matter how hard they tried, the evidence could not be unmatched. And I just said, yep, I knew it. Given that letter, I knew it. Allegedly, this FBI informant goes on to state that other parent was not aware of any of this ruse and had no idea until they woke up and they discovered the ransom note. And they looked at the handwriting and noticed it was his wife's handwriting. It was too late by then. So, allegedly, this husband and father did what he had to do to protect his wife, his child, and some other obligations and some other family secrets that they did not need to get out at all. So, the father went along with the ruse. As I reading the thread, I found rejoice because I know I was in fact correct. Allegedly, that yes, even the FBI agent said it's just as simple as that. All this other stuff, all this media circus, that's all it was. Media fodder. The next hour or so, I fall asleep. Suddenly, upon me resting, I hear a loud bang at my door. Me being very sensitive to the spiritual realm, I envision a woman with dark hair and pearls around her neck and a blue dress banging on my door, screaming, "How dare you tell my business to anyone?" Screaming, "Open this door." I'm so frazzled, I didn't know what was going on. I get up, I panic, and I open the door. And guess who's standing there? Just the rain and me. Following morning, I go back to the Reddit thread, the one, the previous one from the night before, the one where I rejoiced because I knew this parent had in fact unalived their child. Thread was gone. Who also remembers that Reddit issuing some type of statement stating that the person who said that they worked on this case did in fact not work on this case at all, and that everything they said wasn't true? Now, I tried to go, and I really did try to find this Reddit thread, but like I said, it's been scrubbed off the internet. So there are no sources I can cite. But I just want to say that who else remembers that thread? That's part 2 of my new segment with your host, Spooky Segment Speculations with Witchiana. Stay tuned. See you soon, witchy boos and witchy bows.